Welcome back to the Double Take.
It has sure been a minute.
It has been a minute. I'm Ethan Mitchell, in case you forgot.
I'm Josiah Mitchell, and if it slipped your mind, we understand.
We understand. We in our new and improved studio.
Yeah,
I must say it's
pretty
comfortable.
Not gonna lie.
So a lot has happened to us over the last couple of months. I think our last podcast was like 3 months ago, dude.
It was like back in early November, or late October,
and it's middle of February, so
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's definitely been a while.
Crazy, but it's been good. It's been all good stuff. I think today for our podcast, we'll kind of just catch up, maybe talk about a few different things like that.
Let every one of our subs know what we've been doing, because we know you all care so deeply, and
care so
we care about you, so we want to give you an update.
Yeah. So anyway, what happened, dude? So last podcast was I think November, and then it obviously got really cold. We were working all the time, and then let's see. Early December hit. We just got busy. Wanted to sit down again and talk, but weren't able to. And then December 14th rolled around.
Yeah, December 14th. You know, to a lot of people, it's just a regular day in December, but
yeah, to me it was special.
It was the most important day of my life.
I know, I know a lot of y'all heard me talking about my beautiful fiance. Well, December 14th, she became my beautiful wife.
He's got some jewelry.
Yeah, got a fresh
Show it to him.
Ring. Look at that sparkle. Look at that sparkle.
I know. Shield your eyes.
That's what I'm talking about.
He also got some glasses.
I did.
In December.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I did get him in early December.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is my eye doctor.
Yeah.
So anyway. But yeah, so that was good. That was super awesome. And then we did some traveling over the holidays, and I moved out of the apartment he was in, which we had. That's where our studio was, right? So we were
no, we had actual studio.
Yeah, that's where our other place was. And anyway, there. Sorry. No, we had like a legit place. Like we were anyway. But I don't care. We had this apartment. I loved it, dude. But every girl that came into this apartment,
they hated it.
They
were like, "It's so grungy."
It's like, bro, it was not grungy.
Look here, sis.
Yeah, like, come on.
It's got a toilet.
It's
a shower,
a TV, and a bed. Come on.
Yeah, it's all you need.
Yeah, and a fridge.
Come on.
Anyway,
well, the fridge didn't have much food, and what was in it was expired. So I was like, but still, it's nothing to complain about.
That was home. All right.
And I did. Okay. I did have some milk in there that was about 5 weeks old.
Like 5 weeks.
It had started to swell, bro.
Oh,
I know, it's disgusting. So I just straight up took that sucker out before it exploded.
Yeah, threw it on the neighbors.
Yeah, gave it to him, a little moving gift.
Yeah, we had some cool neighbors, but anyway, you were there by yourself for a while.
It was miserable too,
and
it was cold.
We wanted
dirty.
to make a podcast about like
sad.
The last time we were both not married, but we did not, because we just had a lot going on, and there's some things that you feel really deeply, but you just can't say. And I think that was one of those situations where we did want to. I know I wanted to specifically, even like, man, like writing a note like, you know, hey man, I'm getting married, but you keep pursuing Christ, run this race. But it felt too much like a death note, you know? It's like, I'm never gonna see you again. It's like
it felt too much like that, or it felt like there was too little to say in one note.
Yeah,
you know,
it's sometimes words just they just don't adequately describe what people are going through. And since we had been roommates since conception, there was a lot of emotion in the fact that like we no longer live together, and so we wanted to make that podcast, but I think it would have been too difficult.
Yeah, it would, because there's just not enough words to adequately describe kind of how it's been the last 22 years of just living together, working together, pursuing Christ together,
just holding one another accountable and keeping each other's gaze on the cross.
I thought you were going to stop with just holding one another. And I was like,
yeah, we like that's not exactly
I don't know about
happened.
that. But laughing with each other, crying with each other.
Lots of crying.
No.
Yeah, no, none of that. But anyway, we didn't do that because it was sad. But anyway, you were there all by yourself for a minute.
I was, and I know Ethan went over some of the stuff that he was going through in the past couple months. But like for me, my church that I'm a elder at, it was trying to split. They were trying to give the boot to the staff, which I'm on staff. So that was really difficult for a few months.
Yeah.
And so the thick of that really hit in September, October, and November. So that's part of the reason why. I mean, I would be at church 2, 3, 4 nights a week, sometimes for many, many hours. Sometimes up on stage with the congregation, sitting in the pews and just airing out complaints that they have that are ultimately unfounded. Praise the Lord for that.
Yeah. Praise God.
But that was hard. That was really difficult. And then obviously Ethan getting married, we wanted to spend as much time together as we could. Being in the apartment by myself, moving out of the apartment, finding a new studio, finding a new place to live, which is way better. And then also pursuing a young lady. I've been doing that for about a month now. But didn't work out, and that's all right. So that's another thing.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I want to talk about it. I think, I would like for there to be an underlying point to this podcast.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, and I think so. But we can get to that. So, here's how it all went down. I've got a buddy, and my buddy had an older sister, and I remember seeing her over the summer. And Ethan remembers this. I saw her in a Be Real post, actually, and I thought, wow, that is a really, really just beautiful girl. But I never really thought a whole lot about it because it's my buddy's sister. I would have loved to have been introduced to her, but
there just wasn't much opportunity
not,
for that.
Not any opportunity, and then also I wasn't going to be like, yo, why don't you let me meet your sister?
Yeah, what's going on
but he's got a farm out in northern Kentucky. His family does, and he would be like, yeah, but we should go to the farm and do some shooting, and I'd be like, yeah, and thinking, but then recently he helped his older sister move back to Kentucky from Florida, and he told me he'd been spitting some game for me, which totally took me out of the blue. I was like, what? Hey, yo, spitting some game for me. And I thought that was super cool. So I did a lot of thinking and a lot of praying about it, and it just seemed like a good situation. And obviously I love my buddy, and he's a very quality young man, a man of standard.
Solid character.
Yeah,
very steadfast.
Just high marks for him. And so obviously his sister, who's even older than he is, I think, wow, like surely she's a woman of character. And boy, was I right. She really was and is. And so I told my buddy, I was like, listen, brother, if you're spitting some game for me, shoot me your number, if it's cool with her, and I'll call her and ask her out. And so because she's not in town in Louisville where we live, she's, an hour and a half north. Otherwise I would have just asked her out in person. But he asked her, she gave him the go ahead. She gave him, well, I guess she just gave him permission. So I got her number from him, called her up and was like, hey, I know you don't know me from Adam, but I would love to take you out on a date. I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee. And she was like, I'm not going to say no to a free cup of coffee. Great sense of humor, which I really, really admire. I thought that was fantastic. So we got coffee. I didn't really text her in between. I called her on Tuesday. We went out on Saturday a couple weeks ago, and I didn't really text her in between, just building the anticipation, which I appreciate. I mean, my anticipation was building up. Like I said, beautiful young woman of character. Just talking with her for 10 minutes on the phone, I was impressed. She had a great sense of humor, like I said, super friendly. And so I took her to coffee. And the way it worked out, just a little side note, it was packed to the walls.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. It was packed out.
In this coffee shop?
In this coffee shop. And it was small and it was kind of dark.
Ew.
So I was like, ooh, automatically. I'm on edge. I like to sit somewhere where I can see the entire room, gauge any threats, see the door, stuff like that. So I move all the way to the back. I'm sitting at a little bar. I'm waiting for her to come in. She texted me. She was like, I'm going to be 2 minutes late. I know that's a terrible first impression. Anyways, so I'm watching this older couple because it looked like they were wrapping up, and they stood up from like the best table in the house, like because I sat right beside it. They stood up, and I jumped up and I said, excuse me, are y'all leaving? And they said, yeah, we're done. I said, can I have that table? And they were like, absolutely. So I took off my flannel that was over my sweatshirt and put it on my chair right as this young lady that I was taking out to coffee, right as she walked in. So I got the perfect table.
Nice.
With the perfect view of the spot right as she walked in. And we sat down and we talked for 4.5 hours almost. Yeah, dude.
I didn't know it was that long.
Well, it was about 4 hours and 15 minutes.
That's crazy. That's
yeah,
awesome.
we met at 10:30 and I didn't get out of there until about 2:45.
That's sweet.
Great conversation. It's just I was thoroughly impressed. You know, like I said, thinking she's a woman of character, I was not disappointed. I was actually like, she was more than I could even have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she sounded great. I know that first date, you really enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
it was promising.
Yeah, because I called Ethan on the way back, called my parents because they were asking.
Yeah, we're real tight with the parents.
Oh yeah,
Love
super
them.
tight, super tight. But they were like, man, this is awesome. They were really excited for me. And then Monday rolls around, so 2 days later, and this young lady, she's about to go on an 8-day mission trip. So I said, hey, well, can I take you out to dinner? And she said, yeah. And I was like, can I pick you up? And she said, yes, you can. So I think that's a good thing, men. It's a good thing to put yourself out there. You know, I didn't know if she'd be comfortable with me picking her up, but she was. And I hesitated to even ask. But you got to put yourself out there. You got to it's worth it, I promise you. Even if it doesn't work out.
100%.
It is worth it. So I pick her up. We go on a date. We go get some Thai food.
You had Thai? What did you eat?
Yeah, I had pad Thai, chicken pad Thai.
Dude, I don't think I've ever had pad Thai. Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super hungry, but it was good. I accidentally took my leftovers and her leftovers because I had them in the car. And those leftovers slapped.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. They were so good because I was coming back really late. A lot of times I come back late, and so I just heated that up and ate it, and it was really good. But anyways, we had a phenomenal conversation on our second date. We even went out and we got some ice cream afterwards and hung out outside and talked with a guy who was looking for a homeless woman for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, it was kind of odd.
That sounds great.
But I think his name was Alan. I don't remember, but we were having really good conversations. And then she went on a mission trip, and we texted a little bit. She didn't have a whole lot of service, but it was really, really good to keep up with her a little bit and talk with her. And sounded like she was really making an impact on the mission field over there. Praise God for that.
Mm-hmm.
What an awesome and unique opportunity that she was able to do that, and she did it really well, is what it sounded like. So obviously, you know, I'm sitting there like, man, this woman's impressive. You know, she's something. And then she comes back. She gets back late on a Friday. We're texting a little bit. Little flirty banter. Nothing crazy. You know, he feeling himself. That was good.
You're probably the cutest girl on the plane.
She, yeah, you know. No. She told me this is what I said. She was talking about going through TSA, and she said she had to go through what's the security or whatever coming back.
Security.
Yeah, security, but it was like
Customs and Border Control.
Yeah, I think it was
Whatever
customs. And she was like, "Man, I got searched thoroughly," and I was like, "Well, I'd be tempted."
Oh, bro.
I know, dude.
That's crazy,
I know, bro.
bro.
And I told her, I was like, "Whoa, hey, sorry, like
That's crazy,
if that makes
bro.
you uncomfortable." I was just messing with you, and she's like, "No, I actually appreciate a little flirty banter." And I was like, "Oh, bet,
Dude.
I know, dude. I sent that so fast, and then I was like, "Wait a minute,
Bro.
maybe that's too much. Because this young lady, she's a little older than I am, not by a whole lot, but still enough to where, like, I want to be a strong man, a capable leader, and so, like, I don't want to have any childish tendencies, and so even just saying that, I was like, oh man, maybe that's immature.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, that's one thing a real woman will enable you to do as a man. She'll give you the desire to lead well and to be a man, you know? Because if you're with a 16, 17-year-old girl, sometimes you're like, She doesn't need a man right now because she's, kind of immature.
Yeah.
And so am I, But if you're like, if you are a man, all right, you're, 22, 23 like we are, and you are interested in a woman, she helps you be a man because you feel the pressure, which is good. You feel that motivation to do more, to be more, and to mature quickly.
Yeah, it enables like more manhood, more masculinity.
Yeah.
It makes you want to take on more responsibility, and I was feeling that big time. I mean, I think I told you for sure. I mean, I even told my buddy whose sister it was. I was like, man, like even just hanging out with her one time, I want to be a more mature man, a better leader, a godlier man. And so, that's why I even sending that like text, like, I'd be tempted. Yeah, it's funny, but I was like, oh, maybe that was too much.
Yeah.
But she said she appreciated it. So we were gonna hang out Saturday, the day after she got back, but she needed a day to rest. So we met halfway between Louisville and where she's at in Northern Kentucky on Sunday, right after church service. But the difficult thing for me is that I have so much responsibility.
We're working church and stuff.
As the worship leader, worship through song leader. But I had two elders. One was getting sick, and the other had a really good friend die that morning. Oh. And so I took their roles on, and so I did everything in the service except for preaching, the pastoral prayer, and passing out the Lord's Supper. So I did everything. And then I also had to sit in on my pastor asked me to sit in on a Sunday school class so that I could add some. And so I didn't get like my hour during the Sunday school hour to just prepare my heart, pray and rest and just get ready for leading in worship through song. I didn't get that. So I was really tired. So by the time I went to meet this young lady, the second I saw her, my mind went blank.
Yeah.
And I was so tired. I was so drained. I couldn't really focus. And we were talking about missions and stuff. And
yeah, if you ever like serve on a Sunday or are on staff at a church, Sunday afternoons, you just hit a wall.
Yeah.
And so, that's definitely what happens to me too. So
yeah, I mean, so I just felt really bad afterwards. We only were able to meet for like an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Because she had to go to a meeting. I had to get on back. And then, I just felt really bad. So I texted her later and was like, hey, listen, sorry I was so out of it. I think just all the responsibilities that I had going on, I was so drained because I was absolutely wiped out. She said, no, it's fine. And then, at least she kind of said that. After that was actually, today's Sunday, that was a week ago. Since that date, she just created a lot more space, which was hard because I knew that. I could feel that.
Yeah.
But
and you were telling me about that too. And
I was.
Really sad.
I mean, it is really hard as a man wanting to pursue a young woman and young men, if you're listening. It's a hard thing to put yourself out there. It's a hard thing to open up your chest and expose your heart in that way because there's always a risk. There's a risk in love and war, as the saying goes, and if it's not a saying, it is now. Because you can get hurt. And anyway, so she was creating some space, felt like she was keeping me a lot like at arm's distance for sure. At least. Like that was the closest I could get. Just a lot more space in between texts. She got sick real bad. I was trying to like get her some medicine or whatever, and she was just like, no, like I'm picky about what kind of medicine I take and things like that. I was just trying to make sure she had what she needed to heal, at least somewhat. Obviously she had like her parents taking care of her, and then
Valentine's Day.
Well, yeah, the Thursday, the 13th. I got her some flowers, wrote her a sweet note, and Ethan drove up with me, and we drove straight to her house, just dropped the flowers and the note on the front porch, and then I hit the road all the way back to Louisville. So it was a late night, but on the way up there, I called her dad. I said, "Hey, listen, sir, I'm interested in your daughter. I just want your permission to pursue her, if that's all right." Or I said, "I'm asking for your permission to pursue her." And he was like, "Yeah, Josiah, you sound like a very godly man. His son, my buddy, speaks very highly of you. And so does his daughter. So yeah." And he was like, "But I'd love to get to know you some more." And I was like, "All right, cool. Yes, sir. I'd love that." Anyways, but he said, "Yeah, just give my daughter and my wife a heads up that you're about to drop by." So I gave the young lady a heads up, and then she was like, "Oh no, it's a bad night."
Yeah, I think that's when we both kind of were like, that's too
Yeah.
bad. Because I was obviously bringing her flowers, and I was with him, and we were having a good time, just catching up and hanging out because we hadn't been able to hang out in a couple of days. And yeah, I think the response was, it definitely grieved me a little bit because I saw the effort Josiah was putting into it, and getting flowers, writing a note, going up there, not because she was sick, not even being able to see her, just dropping things on the porch and leaving. That was our mission. That was our goal. And there was the, tonight's not a good night. And, in all fairness, she was like, "I'm sick. It's like I feel like I need to."
Yeah, I wonder if she thought we were coming for a visit, because we weren't.
No.
I wasn't coming for a visit. I was just coming to, if she was in bed sleeping, I would have done the same thing. I was just bringing flowers, just bringing a note, and I get it. She felt bad. She was like, "No, you don't have to come all the way out here,
Right,
just to give me flowers." Like,
yeah.
I understand her wanting to.
I do too. I don't blame her at all.
Yeah, I don't blame her at all. That's okay. But I know my heart sank a little bit, and I was getting notifications from my watch saying, "Hey, you're kind of stressed out right now. Maybe do some breathing exercises or something," because my heart rate just kind of was up a little bit, because I was like, "Man, I would really love for this to be received
in the way you intend."
Yeah, in the way I intend. And I want to pursue well. And also, as a man who pursues, like, I want to pursue unencumbered. And so, let's see. That was Thursday night. So then, she seemed pretty busy Friday, or just keeping me at arm's length and not really talking. I was trying to talk with her on Friday night, but it was pretty abrupt. I wasn't getting any details. I was asking her how she was doing, what's going on, anything on her mind, and it's just real short. Man, that stuff hurts.
It does.
It really does. And yet, what am I gonna do? Like, go pout? What am I gonna do? Like, leave her on red? I'm not petty. I don't do that stuff. Although it was tempting because it stung. But I can't. And fellas, as hard as it's gonna be, if you want to pursue well, you can't be petty. You can't allow these little things to get to you, so that you allow these relationships to be up and down based on your emotions, her emotions. You just gotta be steady. You gotta do what you can do. That was on Friday. Real abrupt. "Oh, sorry, I'm going to bed. I got an early morning. Good night." And I was like, "Well, good night. It was good talking to you." Then we were going on a date Saturday, which was yesterday. So we met up at Longhorn Steakhouse. I got me a 22-ounce steak, and I ate it like it was nothing. We were having really good conversations. I thought it was real pleasant, and so then I was just like, "Hey, listen, I called your dad because I'm interested in you, and I just want you to know that, like, I'm interested in you, and I would like to pursue you. You're a woman of quality, of character." And she said, "About that." And I said, "Frick." What?
I don't love that word, but that's all right.
Sorry. I said, "Oh, man, well." And she didn't actually say about that, but it was kind of like, "Well, here are my thoughts." I mean, I tell you what, my heart kind of dropped into my toes a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll just be real about it. It was difficult. She was like, "Well, obviously I'm interested in you. Otherwise I wouldn't be going on dates." Fair enough.
Good point.
Yeah, good point. Thank you. That's great. But she said, there are a few concerns I have. Number one, you're a pretty serious person. And, like, I'm pretty lighthearted and witty, and you just seem pretty serious. And that was the hardest thing to hear, honestly, because that's not true.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things, bro, that I don't love going into the details because obviously whenever somebody doesn't know someone else like deeply, they're gonna say things that may or may not be true. And that was hard. Josiah obviously took it like a man. I don't mean to take over, but do you mind? Josiah took the things like a man. We were talking last night, and he just sat there and was like, that's not true. You know, you can talk to your brother, all these things. But it just kind of seemed like she just was just not at peace about it. And so
yeah, I think she was having some doubts. She couldn't come to grips with it. I think there were just maybe some misconceptions.
100%. Because I know my boy, and it sounds like what she was saying was not quite accurate. But anyway, then she said something like, or did you suggest like, hey, just take a week to pray?
Yeah, I said, well, what if I just leave you alone? I won't reach out to you. Because I if she texts me and takes 6 hours to respond, I'll respond as soon as I can. And if I'm sitting at my desk at work and things are slow, I can respond pretty quick. So, and I try to keep conversations going and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I told her, I'll leave you alone for however long you need. If you can take some time to think and pray. And she was like, yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. I would really appreciate that. And I said, or option B, I can take the burden off your shoulders and just say, it's all right if we part ways. I'll be okay. And she was like, yeah, you know. And she said something funny. I don't remember what it was, but it was like, I something not derivative, but I told her no, and it's like, I'll be okay, not because you're not of immense value, but because the Lord is in control and He has a good plan. It's not at all that you're mid, because that's not the case. But she said, I like option A better. And so we were talking, and I was like, well, it's about time to hit the road. And man, it was so hard to, I couldn't tell her, you know, there's nothing that I can say to make her believe that I'm not that way, that I don't have those characteristics, or I'm not missing those characteristics that she seemed to think I had or I was missing. But obviously she didn't know me, and she acknowledged that. I'm not saying she's a terrible person, this, that, and the other. No, like we went on 4 dates. 4 dates? Yeah, 4 dates.
Over a period of 3 weeks?
Over a period of
3.5, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 3. I think it was 3 consecutive Saturday, Monday, and then she left for 8 days, and Sunday. Yeah, 3 weeks.
So you walked her to her car.
Walked her to her car, opened the door for her, gave her a little hug, and I said, all right, bye. And then 10, 12 minutes down the road, we talked on the phone.
Yeah, you made a few phone calls. And
made a couple of phone calls. And then I just got a sense that the Lord had given me the answer. I've been obviously doing a lot of praying about this situation, and the Lord had given me the answer by not giving her peace. Though I felt totally fine about pursuing her, which is really interesting.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called her. She was driving. I was driving. Otherwise, I would have just told her right at the restaurant. But I told her, hey, listen, I know I said I wouldn't reach out to you, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and take that burden off your shoulders, and we'll go with option B. I don't think praying for a week or two is going to give you peace about this. I think if the Lord hasn't given you peace, then maybe it's not meant to be. I don't regret at all any of the time we spent together. I think you're a wonderful, quality young woman. And I told her some of this before, and I said, you know, I know I've already told you all these things, but like I don't say those things lightly. I believe it. She said some very kind things to me as well. Like I said, she's just a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful young lady of substance, of character. But it was just hard, man. It was really tough. So that was last night.
Yeah, we hung out last night a little bit and talked through it with our producer and
our producer and
who's also
his wife.
Yeah,
who we're close with.
His wife. Yeah, we're somewhat close with them, and so anyway, we hung out with them and talked, and I genuinely think everybody who knows Josiah well has admired the way that he pursued this woman because he did so well, and there's no regrets. And honestly, if we can put a moral of the story, a point to this podcast, it's that when you pursue well, you have no regrets. All right. Yeah. There was no physical boundaries pushed. There was no emotional boundaries pushed. There was nothing that you.
I mean, she might have thought I was crossing boundaries because I was trying to be intentional. Like maybe just like, oh, well, that's kind of a personal question or stuff like that.
Yeah, some people have a really hard time opening up at first. Because we were military kids, we had to make friends fast. We had got like 3 years to be best friends, and so we just dove in and were like, so like,
what do you kind of bared our souls?
Yeah, what do you want to do with your life? How are you? Like, let's hang out, let's talk.
What are your goals?
Yeah, like, and so sometimes that freaks people out who've lived in the same place all their lives because they grow up with everybody, and anybody else that comes in and is like, ask all these deep questions. They're like, whoa, I haven't known you for 12 years.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't known you for decades. Why are you asking me what my middle name is?
Yeah. So anyway, moral of the story is that when you pursue well, the Lord, specifically as Christians, the Lord gives the peace that when you break up, there's no regrets. Because it's so sad, dude, in this world, there's people that sleep together. They're sleeping together before they have deep, intimate conversations.
Or before they're even dating.
Yeah, they sleep together.
I don't know if
I saw a text where this person asked a question. Let's see. A girl asked a question to a guy. And he goes, whoa, I don't know you like that. And she was like, you were literally inside me yesterday. Yeah. Like, as in they're sleeping together. And I'm sorry, but that's the tech. That's what this world is, all right?
We got kids on here.
We got kids. We can sleep together, but we're not going to talk. And that's awful. And so anyway, just sorry, bro. Dude, that's the real thing.
That was wild.
That's what it is, bro.
I know, but
what do you want me to say? That's what it was. Sorry.
No, I mean, whatever.
But not. Anyway.
Yeah.
More of the story is that whenever you pursue someone well, the Lord gives the peace during the breakup because there's no regrets of like, I can't believe I did all this.
But that doesn't mean it's not sad.
Not at all. No regrets doesn't mean like, no regrets.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like, oh, it's all hunky-dory, sunshine and rainbows. I can...
like I checked all the boxes. I did everything right. I'm good. No, you still grieve the process because when relationships fail or when they die or when you lose people, it's sad because this world's broken, dude. And it's really hard because you did bear yourself out there in hopes for a romantic partner. And the Lord had other plans.
Yeah,
so,
like I slept like crap last night.
Yeah.
Had some bunsy dreams.
Yeah.
It's a part of it, but that's par for the course. And fellas, don't let fear of getting burned stop you from pursuing quality women.
Yeah.
Or a quality woman, singular.
Yeah, that specifically.
Because sometimes you do get burned. Like I did. Although I could feel her pushing me away,
you still kept at it.
I just had to take it on the jaw and just keep going. Because she was a guarded person and she guarded her heart well, like Proverbs 4:23 says, and that's a good thing. And so even as she was keeping me at arm's length, I knew she was guarding her heart well, and I wanted to respect that, but also show her that, hey, I'm serious. I'm not playing games. I'm not somebody who's gonna just get in and get out real quick. I'm here for the long haul if you let me.
Yeah.
And ultimately, she just wasn't feeling it.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's not a mark on your character or your good looks.
And it's not a mark on hers either.
No, she's a wonderful girl.
So I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, 100%. And so she's special. She's a daughter of the King, and we want to treat her that way. And you did treat her that way.
Well, I will give an account to the king for how I treat his daughters.
We will, and so many people miss that. It's very, very sad. But anyway,
It's kind of a long, rambling podcast today, but that's what's been going on.
That's kind of what we've been doing.
Yeah.
But the good thing is we still, we don't grieve without hope because we love Christ and we live for Christ. And that's what we do. So we get to get up every day and we get to bless the Lord at all times.
Yeah, what is it? Psalm 1? I will bless the Lord. Psalm 34?
Yeah, that's
Psalm 34. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. And so
let the humble hear and be glad.
Yeah, let the humble hear and be glad. Whether or not I am like Ethan being married to the bride of his youth, to the love of his life, he can bless the Lord at all times. Me, something not working out, and that being sad, I will bless the Lord at all times,
it makes
regardless.
me sad, bro. Makes me sad.
Well, don't think about it.
It just does. I get sad sometimes, and
He does, and I try to keep pretty even keel, but apparently I don't have a sense of humor.
Come on. That's so goofy. Anyway, that's a little update on us. Life is really good because God is on the throne and we get to praise Him. And church got canceled today because it was a snow day. We don't normally. Yeah, boo.
I actually almost died on the way to church a couple of times. The snow got so bad.
Yeah, because you were already on there and they're like,
I was almost to church because I was like, I'll leave a little early.
But anyway, it was a good little snow.
Yeah.
A good day of rest. Praise God. And we're gonna wake up tomorrow Monday morning and go to work, and we're gonna keep praising the Lord. And so that's what we want to do with our lives, and that's kind of where we're at. So
hopefully y'all stuck around. Maybe it was interesting, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, seriously, if you stuck around, you're
a real one. If you stuck around, drop a comment. We'll like it. We'll respond. Maybe if our producer wants to.
We'll do our best.
Yeah,
so, we'll do what we can.
Yeah. But anyways, appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Yeah, we're the Double Take. I'm Ethan.
I'm Josiah.
And you guys take care. And as always,
be good.